You guys doing okay tonight? Yeah, hanging in there? We're gonna keep this quick because I know you guys want to party afterwards, but here's the thing. Jim Jakobs and I first crossed paths 30 years ago. In fact, I think it might have been 30 years ago this month. Jim was an intern over at Channel 13 in Sacramento, and his news director called over to KCRA and said, listen, I got this kid. He's really bright. He works really hard. He's got a lot of passion. I just don't have anything for him. Maybe you guys over at KCRA do. Turns out we did. Jim joined KCRA News to produce traffic reports. Now, there really wasn't a whole lot of traffic to talk about. I mean, guys, it's Sacramento, and it was like 1994, and there's things of the sort. But Jim just jumped into the job. He had so much passion, so much energy, so much commitment. You think the guy was producing nightly news every night. He'd come running across the, we've got a fender bender over on Howe Avenue. You got to get to this thing. He was so excited. Well, as we quickly learned at Channel 3, Jim had already caught the broadcast bug. And as you're about to see, his passion, his energy, his commitment to our craft would only grow over time. And that's the cue to roll the video, Randy.
So I started off delivering newspapers as a kid, the Grass Valley Union newspaper. So I kind of had the bug early, did a radio show in high school, and thought I wanted to get into television news to do sports reporting. But then once I got my first internship at KOVR, 3 days after I graduated high school, I realized the news thing was a lot more fun because sports was just kind of contained. The news was sort of all over the place, so I really went that direction instead. When I first got into a newsroom in 1994, and just a couple of weeks into my internship, there was a police chase up on all the monitors, and everybody in the newsroom stood up to watch, and it was this white Ford Bronco on the streets of Los Angeles, and O.J. Simpson was inside. Clearly one of the biggest stories of my lifetime, and it was right when he started too. So it was crazy. It got me right into the thing, and never wanted to let go after that. January 1st, 1997 was the date that I'll always remember because that was the date of huge flooding in Northern California. We had a Pineapple Express system that came in and just evaporated a tremendous snowpack that we had. And every river, every piece of water went up and up and up. And we went on television and didn't stop for 82 straight hours without a commercial break. I was producing all the traffic segments, and it just hit me that we were delivering information that was so essential to keeping people safe and keeping them updated. I had some really good mentors. I remember John Iender was a reporter at KOVR that really helped me get into the industry right out of high school. He was there when I did my senior project in high school and how a news station operated. I did a story about how KOVR operated as a news station as my senior project, and that's where I interned to begin with. And John Iender was a tremendous mentor of mine. And then in my early days of KCRA, Jim Stimson was a tremendous mentor to me and dozens of other people as well. Just learning how to be professional, how to get information, get it right, and do it the right way. He was fantastic. I had Ed Chapuis was my first news director after Bill Bauman. Those two had a tremendous impact on my career as well as John Carr, who was managing editor. I learned so much from those individuals that still serve me to this day. So I was fortunate to have had that, and I look forward to doing that for as long as I possibly can for others getting into this industry as well. But it's afforded me the opportunity to raise a family and to grow into a good person, I think, and just have a lot of really interesting experiences, whether it was covering Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger at the Capitol when he was inaugurated, or just any number of things. But I really go back to the floods of '97 as really the thing that I think kicked my career off and showed me what the power of this industry can be in helping people get the information they need at the moment they need it.
Come on up here, Jim. So here we are tonight, 30 years later, and I am proud to present you with the Governor's Citation for everything you've done, everything you continue to do, and all the great things I know you will do in the years ahead. Congratulations.
I want to thank Jim Stimson for making the drive over here tonight. I asked him if he could be my presenter. They asked me to have a presenter, and I was one person that came to my mind. That gentleman right there has had such an impact on so many people, including me. I would not be the person I am today without Jim Stimson, no doubt about it. In fact, I think he's written and forgotten more news than anybody in this entire room or online here. So thank you, Jim. I also want to thank the Natus Board of Governors for this citation. I was totally unexpected. I've never done anything in this business for recognition or reward. It's always been for the audience and for the people that I work with. I want to thank my lovely wife, who's down here in the front with my stepdaughter, and my wife, Lidu. My mom and dad, who I think are watching this online from little town Grass Valley, where I was born and raised and started that little newspaper route, and have now standing here. Like Jim said, it was almost 30 years ago to the day that I walked into a newsroom, and if it had not been for the late, great John Iender, who some of you probably know, had the lovely opportunity to work with, he gave this little high school kid a chance to walk into a newsroom. With my resume included 2 Employee of the Months at Kmart and a paper route. And I did not take that lightly, and he opened the door, and I just took it from there. So I want to thank John Iender and the many people who have helped me along the way. Many I mentioned in that video. Some of the quotes of the people that I've worked with, I keep on a board in my office. I'll share them here. First quote on my board, you saw a little piece of that in that video. If it looks like news, it probably is. Guess who said that? Him. About 30 years ago, probably. And that stuck with me to this day. Next up on my board, Enzio Williams, who's with NBC News now. Seek to understand, then seek to be understood. The late, great Jim Sanders once told me, the only reason I give you rules is so you know which ones you're breaking when you do. That stuck with me. Steve Charlier from KOVR days. Interrupt news for news. There's a concept that works. And then I put one for myself on the board that I'll share with others that I help continue mentoring in our business. Seek clarity in crisis. It's an important one. Somebody earlier this evening said journalists are needed now more than ever. Absolutely. Absolutely. They are needed more now than ever before. Truth is a very finite thing. Very, very intangible, but very tangible to the people in this room. And we hold that to the highest regard every day in every way, which is why I also have helped with the mentor match through Natus. Guess who is a mentor in Mentor Match, who just mentored somebody in Reading who's now going to KCRA. So how about that for a full circle moment, 30 years in the making, Jim? So I had John Iender believe in me when I was just a high school senior. I keep that in mind. Now as I'm a news director, I look for people that have that hunger, that desire. Maybe it's not on a resume. Maybe it's not a trophy or some award they receive, but maybe it's just that doggone desire to want to do well in this industry. And I look for those people, those diamonds in the rough that are still out there. I know Gen Z gets a bad rap. That's fine. I'll find the diamonds in the rough and the Gen Z and put them forward and send them up to places like KCRA all day long. Every day. So I also, it hit me tonight when somebody said their mom flew in from New Jersey, their mom flew in from South Korea, that we make an impact to the point where our parents recognize that. That's really, really awesome. And our kids now, the next generation. Julie Watts, your son can be a mentor match person here pretty soon. I think maybe it's 16 years or so. You can see it in his eyes already. I think you're over there somewhere. So he hooked me up. Look me up. You know how to reach me. So I don't think I've used up all my time, so I will give it back to all of you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. Keep doing that.